Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. We have a great morning planned. I'm very excited to be here. And I'd like to get started by talking about the post-PC revolution. It's happening all around us at an amazing pace. And Apple is at the forefront leading this revolution. When we're talking about the post-PC world, we're talking about a world where the PC is no longer the center of your digital world, but rather just a device. We're talking about a world where your new devices, the devices you use the most, need to be more portable, more personal, and dramatically easier to use than any PC has ever been. At Apple, we have three blockbuster post-PC products. The iPod reinvented the music player and changed the way people listen to music and play games. The iPhone reinvented the phone and changed all of our expectations of what a phone could be and how easy and fun it should be. The iPad, the revolutionary device that defined a whole new category. In many ways, the iPad is reinventing portable computing and is outstripping the wildest of predictions. Now, any company would be thrilled to have just one of these devices. At Apple, we're fortunate to have all three. And the momentum has been staggering. Last year alone, we sold 172 million post-PC devices. And this made up 76% of our revenues. Now, this is incredible. Apple has its feet firmly planted in the post-PC future. Now, part of the reason for this is that the things that make a great post-PC company are the things that Apple has been about for many years. It plays to our strengths. It's what we love to do. Let me give you a few examples. Our retail stores. Our retail stores provide the best buying experience and the best customer service anywhere. And while that's important for a buyer of a Macintosh, in some ways it's even more important from a buyer of an iPad or an iPhone or another post-PC device, because these devices are new to many people. There needs to be a place to discover them, to learn about them before they're purchased, and learn how to get the most out of them after they're purchased. This is our latest store and our largest store. It just opened this past weekend in Amsterdam. It's absolutely beautiful. And there were a few people waiting to see the inside of the store. With our Amsterdam store, we now have 362 retail stores around the world for people to explore these new post-PC devices. And 110 million customers visited them just last quarter. Now, toward the end of last year, we opened a new store in the historic Grand Central Station in Manhattan. This store is jaw-dropping. The turnout for the opening of this store was off the charts. People were really excited to get in this store. And, you know, it's a perfect place for the New York commuter. You can stop by, quickly buy an iPad or an iPhone or a Mac or an iPod, or just come to explore, or come to take a class before you have to catch that next train. Now, we were so excited about the opening of this store that we prepared a video. and I'd like to run it for you this morning. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Now, another key element of our post-PC success is iOS, the world's most advanced mobile operating system and the easiest to use by far. iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch are all based on iOS, and we have now sold an astonishing 315 million devices through last year, and 62 million of those just last quarter. Now, one of the most popular features of the latest update to iOS is Siri. And Siri, running on the iPhone for us, Siri is your best friend, your intelligent personal assistant who gets things done just by asking. It's a whole new way of interfacing with your phone, and our customers tell us that they love it. And the press has had some pretty good things to say as well. Now, many of you have heard what Siri sounds like in the US.
It doesn't look like it's going to rain this weekend.
But we thought it might be fun to let you listen to Siri from other parts of the world this morning, like in Australia.
There's no rain in the forecast for this weekend.
And in France.
Il ne devrait pas y avoir de pluie pour ce week-end.
And in Germany.
Es ist kein Regen in der Vorhersage für dieses Wochenende.
And today we're bringing Siri to Japan.
週末は雨は降らないようです。
Siri in Japanese is a part of iOS 5.1, which is the latest edition of iOS. It is available today, and we'll be rolling it out in Japan over the next few weeks. We think our customers there are going to love it as they have in other parts of the world. Now, you can't talk about the post-PC world without talking about the App Store. And of course, the App Store is a place to go discover and download applications that make your devices even more usable and more personal. We have almost 600,000 apps in the App Store. This is an amazing number, and it's an amazing virtuous cycle. Great apps lead to more downloads, lead to more great apps, which leads to more downloads. In fact, just a few days ago, a lucky customer in China downloaded the 25 billionth app. 25 billion. This is a mind-boggling number that we couldn't even have imagined when we launched the App Store just a few years earlier. Another key part of the post-PC experience is iCloud. And of course, iCloud keeps all of your content in sync across all of your devices. Take a photo using the camera on your iPhone, and boom, it's pushed automatically and wirelessly to your Mac, your iPad, or even your Apple TV. It's simple, it's elegant, it's automatic, it just works. And in just a few months, we've gone over 100 million customers of iCloud. Part of iCloud is iTunes in the cloud. And iTunes in the cloud is for your music, for your TV shows, and today we're announcing that it now supports movies. So you can re-download movies you've purchased on any of your devices. Also today, we're announcing that movies and TV shows in the iTunes Store support 1080p HD. They are absolutely incredible quality. And because we know that many of you like to watch your movies and your TV shows on a widescreen TV with Apple TV, we're announcing a new Apple TV that now supports 1080p. I've been using one of these. The quality is off the charts. It comes with a streamlined new user interface that makes it even easier to search and play great content. Apple TV is the place so that you can see and hear almost anything that you want, from blockbuster movies to top TV shows to your photos and your music, and even news and sports right there on your widescreen TV. I'd like to bring Eddie Q up to demo it for you. Eddie?
Thanks, Tim. I'd like to show you the new Apple TV. And the first thing you'll notice in our built-in screensavers, we've got these incredible new photographs from National Geographic. Let's go to our all-new UI. It's full 1080p resolution. It looks gorgeous. Everything is sharper. It's easier to read. The movie posters are much larger of our Hollywood titles available for purchase and rent. TV shows the day after they air. Now with iTunes Match, you have access to your iTunes music library, all of your songs, your playlists, all from iCloud. And you can still get access to your music, movies, TV shows, and photos on your computer right from your Apple TV. We've also made it much easier to get to all of the great content we have from third parties, like Netflix, Major League Baseball, the NBA, and many others. Let's go ahead and take a look at PhotoStream. Now, photos look great on a big screen TV, but PhotoStream and the new Apple TV make it even better. Because now, when I take a photo on my iPhone, it automatically appears on my Apple TV without having to do anything at all. And these photos look gorgeous. Full screen, 1080p, the details, they look incredible. Now, to get back to the main screen, I just hold the menu on my remote. And let's go ahead and take a look at movies. Here you notice we have a new menu across the top that makes it much easier to navigate. Top movies, you see all of our new releases, the movies that are most popular for purchase or rent. Genius is now built in, so Apple TV will recommend movies for you based on the movies you've already watched. Here's some based on The King's Speech, on The Incredibles. Now, to bring the menu back, I can just hit menu on the remote, and there I am. Now, just like we've done for music and TV shows, you now have access to movies you previously purchased right from iCloud. We'll go to Purchased, And here's a list of movies I've already bought, and I can watch them at any time at no additional cost. Let's go ahead and watch my favorite movie this year, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. That's the new Apple TV, and we think you're going to love it. Thanks, Tim.
The new Apple TV retains the same very low price of $99. It's available next week, and you can get your orders in starting today. And I would encourage you to do that. That brings us to iPad. We think that iPad is the poster child of the post-PC world. The momentum behind iPad has been incredible and has surprised virtually everyone. We sold almost 15.5 million iPads just last quarter alone. And to put this in some context, we sold more iPads in the fourth quarter of last year than any PC manufacturer sold of their entire PC line worldwide. We think this gives you an indication of the potential for this product. But you know, it's just not about the numbers. iPad is showing up everywhere in the daily lives of people, in their work lives, in their play lives, all around the world in tens of millions of people. And perhaps PC World said it best. The iPad is so ubiquitous and so entwined in mainstream culture already that it is hard to imagine a time without it. This is a product that is less than 2 years old. Now, when we set out to create the iPad, we set out to create not just a new product, but a new category. And we said that in order to do that, that the iPad had to be the best device for doing some of the things that you do most often. Things like browsing the web or checking email. Now, this is a tall order, but when we asked the iPad users, they told us that's exactly what we had done. When we asked iPad users who had a notebook, a desktop, and a smartphone, their favorite device for email, they responded iPad. For browsing the web, they responded iPad. We asked iPad users who also had an e-reader what their favorite device was for reading books. They overwhelmingly said iPad. We asked iPad users who also had a portable gaming device and even a gaming console, their favorite device for playing games. Their response? iPad. In fact, for so many activities, they responded iPad. This is incredible when you remember that this device has been on the market for less than 2 years. Now, part of the reason is the incredible bundled apps with iPad and the over 200,000 apps that have been custom built to take advantage of the big, beautiful multi-touch screen. These apps are gorgeous and groundbreaking. They help you create or learn or do almost anything. Great educational apps like SolarWalk, business apps like StockTouch, incredible games like Infinity Blade. You won't find these incredible apps on other tablets. In fact, and in some estimations, there were over 100 competitive tablets that came to market just last year. You won't find that great experience. Let me give you some examples. This is a Twitter app on a Samsung tablet running on Android. You can see it's pretty basic. It kind of looks like a blown up smartphone app. And that's because it's exactly what it is. Compare that to Twitter running on iPad. You can view the tweets. You can see web pages and photos and videos that are mentioned in the tweet on the big, beautiful screen. And here it is for Yelp. You know, it looks like a stretched out smartphone app. Lots of white space, tiny text. It's kind of hard to see. Compare that to Yelp running on the iPad, clearly designed to take advantage of the large canvas. And this is a key reason why momentum on iPad continues to build and the competitive tablets aren't gaining traction. Now, everyone's been wondering who will come out with a product that's more amazing than the iPad 2 with its big, beautiful 9.7-inch screen, super fast A5 chip, all-day battery life, and elegant, thin and light design. Everybody's been wondering this. Well, stop wondering. We are. Today, we're announcing the new iPad, and it is amazing. We've taken it to a whole new level, and we are redefining the category that Apple created with the original iPad. It makes amazing improvements over the most fundamental features of the design of the device, while retaining everything that millions of people have grown to love about it. I'd like to invite Phil Schiller up to show it to you. Phil?
Thank you, Tim. Well, good morning, everyone. So do you want to know about the new iPad? I'm glad. First, new feature of the new iPad, the Retina display. You might have heard that an iPad could have a Retina display. But until you see it, you can't understand how amazing this is. We introduced the Retina display technology first on the iPhone 4, and it's incredible. And to this day, no one has yet matched that display technology in any mobile device. And we're going to bring it to the 9.7-inch screen of the iPad. Now, this presents a problem for us in presenting it to you, because for the first time, an iPad has higher resolution than this entire display behind me. More pixels. So everything you see is going to be scaled down. That's a fun challenge, but we'll do our best. So for example, when you turn on that new iPad, you are going to see graphics, text, icons sharper than you can imagine. They're just beautiful. When you go to read a book, you're going to see text that rivals anything you've seen in print, in newspapers or magazine. Everything you do is just going to look stunning. Surfing the web, reading your emails, and photos are just going to look amazing at high resolution on that gorgeous big display. And this helps customers around the world, particularly if they read in different languages, character-based languages like Japanese and Chinese. The fonts are amazing. It really is a big step forward. Well, the new iPad display is 2048 by 1,536 pixels. And if you do the math really quick, you'll figure out that's over 3.1 million pixels on this display, the most ever in a mobile device. Put another way, many of you all have an HD TV at home. These televisions, 50 inches, 60 inches, have a resolution of 1920 by 1080. Here's an iPad scaled appropriately next to it. It has more pixels. Let's overlay the photos, the same photo as they could be displayed on each of these devices. You see the iPad shows over 1 million more pixels than your own HD TV does at home. That's incredible. And of course, to display that many pixels, we pack them really tightly. There are 264 pixels per inch in this display. And that is enough to call it a Retina display. Well, why is that? Well, you may recall when we launched the iPhone, we said that the iPhone, when held at a normal distance, 10 inches or closer, has enough pixels that your retina in your eye can't distinguish those individual pixels. And yes, there's real math behind that. Experts agree with us. Well, the same is true of the new iPad. When you hold it at a normal distance, in this case 15 inches or even closer, your retina in your eye cannot discern those individual pixels. It has enough pixel density that you can't pick out the pixels. And the images on it look stunning. The new iPad display also has greater color saturation, 44% greater than the iPad 2. So side by side, you're going to see images just pop out. They are so much more colorful and richer in their detail. Now there's 4 times the number of pixels on the new iPad display. So it takes a lot of graphic horsepower to drive that display if you want to keep it smooth and fast and beautiful to use. Well, you know, the iPad 2 used the A5 chip, Apple-designed chip, which is the best chip in a mobile device to drive a great display. But we needed even more horsepower for this new iPad and its Retina display. So we've created the Apple A5X chip. And what's the X for? Quad-core graphics. Quad-core graphics designed specifically for the Retina display to drive 4 times the number of pixels. Well, how does that compare to what others are using? Well, others are using chips like this NVIDIA Tegra 3. If you normalize its graphics performance at 1, the Apple A5 was already twice as fast. And the new A5X brings 4 times the performance. It is a graphics powerhouse. So the new iPad has a Retina display with more pixels than any mobile device has ever had. It has 2048 by 1536 resolution, over 3 million pixels. It has greater color saturation. It has the A5X quad-core graphics. This is the best mobile display that has ever shipped, and it's a real revolution. That's the first feature. The second feature, an EyeSight camera. Well, you know, on the front of our devices, we have a FaceTime camera. It's most often used for FaceTime video calls that our customers love making. And on the back, we have a camera. And when that camera gets of such quality and capability that you're proud to use it as your everyday camera for photographs, we call it an EyeSight camera. And the new iPad has a great EyeSight camera. It's a 5-megapixel backside illuminated sensor. We brought the optic system from the iPhone 4S, 5-element lens, hybrid infrared filter on it. And we have an ISP built into our A5X chip to do some great software algorithms and capabilities on this for photographs. But of course, the ultimate measure of a camera are the pictures you take with it. So let me show you some pictures taken with this new iPad. The iPad has auto exposure, so it gets great exposure, great color. It has autofocus. It's incredible at the detail it picks up, and you see that lens can deliver great edge-to-edge sharpness and detail. It has auto face detection, so you can take individual or group shots. It knows just what to do. It has auto exposure lock and autofocus lock, so you can compose exactly the photograph you want. It is just a blast to use. That's Derby, world's largest dog. So it has a 5-megapixel EyeSight camera, advanced optics with an IR filter, autofocus, auto white balance, face detection, everything to deliver a great photo experience built into an iPad. Number 3, HD video recording, now at 1080p resolution. Full HD resolution, so wherever you are, you want to grab a video for work or play or school, you've got a great camera built in to do that with. Let me just play a very quick, typical home movie clip that you might grab with your iPad and its 1080p camera. Now, it's great to have a high-quality HD camera with you everywhere you go, but there's a lot more to it. We use that A5X chip to do some pretty advanced things. For example, image stabilization. So what we've got here is a video I'll show you of what it's like with image stabilization turned off and what it's like with it turned on. And it's always turned on, but I think you'll be able to see the difference here because we capture right from the sensor. So here's the video as if it were unstabilized. And now here's what our software does to stabilize it. It's really nice. I think they did a great job pretending there wasn't a camera in front of them as they walked along the dock, didn't they? So that's 1080p video recording, video stabilization. We do temporal noise reduction to help improve quality in low light situations. And it is perfect to watch these videos back on that gorgeous large Retina display. 4th feature, voice dictation. Of course, the iPad, like all great iOS devices, has a software keyboard from Apple that's built into all the software you use automatically. And now you'll see there's a new key on the bottom, a microphone. So you can type, or you can just tap it, speak into your iPad, and it will dictate what you have to say. It works like this.
It's day 12 here in Barcelona, which means 2 more days left before we have to leave, period. I'm so not ready to go, it's amazing here, period. And if I could somehow magically bring the weather here home with me, I would, period.
And that's it. That's how it translates what you say into the text you want to type. The new iPad supports English in US English, British English, Australian English, French, German, and of course now, Japanese. So that's voice dictation. The 5th feature, next generation wireless. Now you know the iPad 2 has already had great wireless performance, and it supports networks like EVDO, with a maximum theoretical downlink of 3.1 megabits per second. And it has supported HSPA, for example, on GSM networks, with a maximum downlink of 7.2 megabits per second. But now with the new iPad, we're adding a great deal more. We're adding HSPA Plus, with a maximum downlink of 21 megabits. And if you haven't heard about this, it's great. Dual carrier HSDPA, which we're starting to see show up in Europe, Australia, and other places around the world, with a maximum downlink of 42 megabits per second. And of course, topping it off, long-term evolution, or LTE, which is a maximum of 73 megabits per second downlink. So the performance is amazing, and you're going to love using it on these high-speed new networks. So let me give you a couple everyday examples of how you might use this. Here we have an HSPA network being used by the iPad on the left, and we have LTE being used by the one on the right. These are actually recorded, so I can play them back, and you can see them right here on the big screen. And it's a simple everyday task. I'm going to click on an email that has a bunch of embedded photos and see what happens. So here we go. We select the top new email message that came in, and on the right, you'll see the photo will come in faster on LTE. In fact, the next large photo will come in, and the next one, before even the first photo starts to show up on HSPA. So we're all done. We've got all 5 large photos on LTE, and we're still waiting even for the second one on HSPA. So that's one example of the difference of using it in everyday tasks, simply the things we download, applications, music, emails. Here's a different kind of example. We all like to do great things like watch videos on our iPad, surf the web to sites like Vimeo, and watch HD, high-quality video. But if you don't have the high-speed bandwidth, the best thing to do is just let it buffer for a while and wait, and then hit play. But what if you could start to watch right away, because it could download the video faster than you can watch it in real time? So watch what happens. I'm going to hit play, and this is a great film, the Bird film from Andrew Zuckerman Studios. And on the right, on LTE, it starts playing right away. And you can see with the progress bar on the top, it is loading the video faster than we can watch it in real time. On the device on the left, which is on EVDO, or we could have used GSM as well there, it's buffering the video, waiting to save enough frames before it starts to play. That's what we've been used to. On the right is what we're going to start getting used to. It fundamentally changes how you experience things like video. So that's what it's like to use these high-speed new networks. We're working with a number of carriers to support LTE on the new iPad. And we're working with AT&T, Verizon, Rogers, Bell, and Telus. They'll be the first to be able to work with LTE on the brand new iPad. But we have other high-speed networks, as I've mentioned, around the world. Now, as you remember, with 3G, when 3G phones first started showing up, they actually have many different bands, so you got different phones for different networks around the world. And over time, they start to come together. Well, the same thing's happening with 4G LTE. In fact, even more so. There are many bands around the world. So, for example, in the US, we'll have two versions of the new iPad. One for LTE bands to be used on the AT&T network, and another for the LTE bands on the Verizon network, because they're different. But no matter which ones you pick anywhere in the world, below that, they're completely compatible. They're 3G world ready. So whichever one you pick, you can roam anywhere around the world on the fastest HSPA or EVDO networks, and you have what you need. In addition, we've added software to make it a personal hotspot. So if your carrier supports a personal hotspot feature, you can share that high-speed network from your new iPad directly with up to 5 devices. And if you've ever used this, you know our software is state-of-the-art and so easy to use. So the new iPad has 4G LTE. It has fast HSPA plus and dual carrier HSDPA networking. It's 3G world ready. It has a personal hotspot. When you add all these networks, plus the Wi-Fi networking and the Bluetooth networking, it's no small feat. This new iPad has the most wireless bands of any device that has ever shipped. And it is truly revolutionary. So the new iPad, it has a breakthrough display, a Retina display at 9.7 inches with over 3 million pixels. It has the A5X chip with quad-core graphics. It has a 5-megapixel iSight camera. It has 1080p video recording. It has voice dictation. And it has the most wireless bands ever in a device, capped off with 4G LTE. Now you may be thinking, a lot of these technologies consume a fair amount of power. 4 times the number of pixels, quad-core graphics engine, LTE networking. So how did it do on battery life? Well, you may recall the iPad 2, we claim 10 hours of battery life for most of the things you do. And when you're on 3G networking for wireless web, 9 hours. Well, the new iPad delivers the same 10 hours of battery life for all the things you do. And when you're on 4G, 9 hours. So the team has worked incredibly hard to deliver this kind of battery performance so you can use it all day long. Yet, it remains amazingly thin at just 9.4 millimeters and amazingly light at just 1.4 pounds. So the new iPad comes in black and white. And you're probably at this point thinking, I want one. What's it going to cost? I am. So the new iPad, you remember the iPad 2 starts at $499 for 16 gigabytes. Well, I'm really excited to tell you the new iPad will be priced at just $499. It comes in 3 storage capacities, 16, 32, and 64 gigabytes at $499, $599, and $699 for Wi-Fi models. And for Wi-Fi plus 4G, $629, $729, and $829, the same prices as the iPad 2 before it. And the new iPad will be available on March 16th. And just 1 week. And if you want one as badly as I do, you'll be happy to know that the pre-orders start today. So, on March 16th, the new iPad will be available in the US, Canada, UK, France, Germany, Switzerland, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Australia. A really big, fast start. But it doesn't stop there. 1 week later, we're adding 25 more countries. So we are going to have the fastest rollout we've ever had for a new device. Back to the software, because ultimately, this is going to be amazing when you turn it on. You're not going to believe how beautiful it looks. And the team has worked really hard to make all the software that comes on that iPad look gorgeous. So when you're surfing the web, Safari's been updated to take full advantage of that Retina display. When you're reading your emails, Mail's been updated to take full advantage of that Retina display. When you're using your photos, the Photo app has been fully updated to take advantage of all that amazing color and resolution. Everything's been updated. But as you remember with the iPhone 4, when it went to the Retina display, developers didn't have to do anything and their apps looked better, and we used scaling for the graphics and automatically sized the text, but they could do even more to make them better. So right out of the box, you'll start using your applications, you'll find they look great. Things are scaled up with the 4 times the number of pixels, and text, because of our text APIs and libraries, looks stunning. So everything will work great. But if the developer takes a little bit of time, just as they did with the iPhone, they can do things with their applications that are just mind-blowing, amazing, incredible, using that Retina display and the A5X chip. So we've asked a few developers just to spend a week and take a look at the new iPad and show us what they can do with it with all that amazing graphics horsepower. So we're going to bring up 3 demos to show you some really amazing stuff. The first is from Namco. Namco is a great developer of a lot of titles on the iPhone and iPad, titles of everything from Pac-Man to Sky Gamblers. And I'm really excited to bring up James Shelton. James is the game design director for Namco. James? Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm joined up here by Rezvan Barita.